slasher film come to life in the British murder mystery reality series Killer Camp, debuting at 8/7 Central on the CW. And that's your TV tip-off on iHeartRadio.
Spend more time doing what you'd like to do. Call Genesis Painting. We color your world.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
This is Fox Sports 1070 The Game, WTSO Madison. Available anywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Now #1 for podcasting. This is Talkin' Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network. Talkin' Golf is brought to you by
American Family Insurance. Insure carefully and dream fearlessly. Oak Park Place, offering senior living options for the lifestyle you deserve, with amenities and services for a carefree, independent way of life. Cherokee Country Club, Madison's only private facility to offer an 18-hole golf course, indoor-outdoor tennis, pickleball, fitness center, outdoor pool, and 2 restaurants. And by Wisconsin.golf, covering the people, courses, tournaments, and golf issues in the Badger State and beyond.
Now, here are your co-hosts for Talkin' Golf, the former Wisconsin men's and women's golf coach and member of the Wisconsin Golf Hall of Fame, Dennis Tiziani, and longtime Wisconsin sportscaster Paul Brown.
And we welcome you to Cherokee Country Club at Madison, along with Kevin Ryan, Dave McCann, behind the scenes, and Dennis Tiziani. I'm Paul Brown. Welcome to another edition of Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network. On tonight's program, first of all, a couple of announcements to pass on to people that follow the Talking Golf show. The passes for Wild Rock and UW Ridge, they're all gone. And sorry, we're out, but that tells you that a lot of people are going to enjoy playing those 2 golf courses. Again, the passes have all been sold, and we thank the people for participating by buying the passes, because the money comes to the Golf Effect charity. Dennis, an announcement today on the tour, which gives you an indication of what's going on with our world. The PGA Tour today announced they will not have fans or pro-ams at the 9 remaining events on the tour this year, and that includes the 3 FedEx Cup events. That, I think, is an indicator of how they feel about what's going on with COVID.
Well, you know, they have to, not have to, but they're conforming to what's going on, which they should do. You can't continue to have this when we're having issues all over the country. So it's a good thing. However, the radio audience or the TV audience is still there. I mean, they made reference to the lack of noise after these 2 guys made those putts, you know, at the Memorial Tournament.
How about that yesterday?
Well, unbelievable. You couldn't, I don't know. I'll probably put a half a dozen scratch golfers there and give them at least 5 balls, and they still wouldn't 2-putt.
We're talking about the putt of 50 feet by Justin Thomas on the first playoff hole.
That's down.
He makes that, and he was quoted as saying when he looked at it, it looked like it had about 30 feet of break.
Oh, yeah. It is. You know, after it makes a turn, it runs straight down fairway, you know, towards the water. But then even better than that was
when Colin made his putt downhill.
Man, just a tie. That's unbelievable. But they did make reference, no noise. Just can you imagine the noise if you had 20,000 people there, you know? Wow.
Yeah, it was unbelievable, the playoff. And hey, Colin, he's a pretty good young player, isn't he?
He's a good player. I was very surprised this guy had a 3-shot lead with 3 holes to play. And one of them's a par 3, you know? And he loses the tournament. I mean, but the other guy played good. He wouldn't give it up.
Well, speaking of television, we've got a very special guest on our show. It's going to be coming up here in about 3 minutes. He happens to be involved with television. And we're talking about Dan Hicks, who is the lead commentator for NBC. And he's been with the network since 1992. And NBC just signed an agreement. They took the remaining part of the Fox Sports contract. So they're going to be back in the golf business big time again.
Right. He's a great announcer. He sets people up. I mean, to make, this may sound funny. To make Johnny Miller look good, you have to be really good.
You were never a big fan of Johnny Miller.
No, he's so negative. But he's a great player. He played when I played, you know, and he's a great player. But if you watch Dan, I mean, how he handles the introductions for the Ryder Cup. I mean, he's fun. Did I ever tell you the real story there? My relationship with Dan Hicks?
Why don't you tell the story once we get him on the air?
No, I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you now, but I'm going to tell you when you get on the air.
Okay, go ahead real quick.
Steve is leading the tournament in the LA Open.
Okay.
All right. And I'm sitting in my home watching TV. Bobby comes down and says, "What are you doing? Who are you texting?" I said, "Him." She said, "Who?" I said, "Him."
The guy on TV.
The guy on TV, right. He's texting me, wondering what's going on, why Steve is hitting it left and he's hitting it. And I'm texting him back of why that's going on. She about died. But that's what happened. That was my start of, not really a start, of a relationship with him. He's really a friend. I mean, I text him about what we're doing today, and he got back to me in a minute, and he said, sure, So he's the nicest guy. And his wife, she had an accident there.
Yeah.
What's her name? I can't.
Hannah Storm.
Hannah Storm, and she burned herself in a kitchen or something, and he rallied past that. But I've never met a guy. Well, Paul Braun is close.
Oh yeah, right.
To teeing people up.
And one other quote feature that we're adding tonight: people that are listening or watching on YouTube, later on in this show, you're going to have an opportunity to call in and ask your own questions of Tiz. Mm-hmm. We're going to do that for the first time. We'll be back with Dan Hicks right after this timeout on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
3, 2, 1. Grab your phone, because now is your chance to win $1,000. Text the keyword LOVE to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's LOVE to 200-200.
Now that's a parking spot.
Introducing the I may have underestimated the size of my car policy with accident forgiveness from American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly. Get a quote. Find an agent. Visit amfam.com.
We got Dan on the line, guys.
Optional policy features not included in base policies. Review policy for coverages and exclusions. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
A cherished family visit looks different today at Oak Park Place, but the feelings of love and support haven't changed. The focus is always on resident health and safety. Thank you to the families for finding unique ways during difficult times to connect with loved ones while maintaining physical distance. A wave and a smile from outside, a yard sign with a special message, all to bring joy to the residents. They have locations on Madison's east side in the Nakoma neighborhood, Janesville, Baraboo, Oak Creek, and Wauwatosa. Visit oakparkplace.com.
Hi, this is Dave Gary with the Princeton Clubs. A great round of golf requires the right club at the right time. Here in Wisconsin, the Princeton Club is the right club at the right time. If you want to improve your game, give us a call for custom golf fitness programs. We work with all types of golfers to increase flexibility, core strength, stamina, and overall fitness.
We're committed to excellence, the Princeton Club.
For more information, go to PrincetonClub.net.
This is Gary D'Amato with Killarney Golf Media. Check out our coverage of golf in Wisconsin and beyond on wisconsin.golf. We cover people, courses, tournaments, issues, and trends. Anything and everything that impacts golf in our state. And keep listening to The Golf Effect for expert analysis, topical dialogue, and great guests. Between wisconsin.golf and The Golf Effect, we've got you covered.
4. Wow, you're terrible at golf. Who taught you?
I Googled it.
You need to meet with Tiz.
What's a Tiz?
Dennis Tiziani, Wisconsin Golf Hall of Famer. He has over 50 years of playing and teaching experience with a ridiculous list of championships and champions. Maybe you could be his next protege.
Where can I find him?
At the golf range at Cherokee Country Club.
Well, what if I'm not a member at Cherokee Country Club?
Well, the golf range is open to the public, but have you ever thought about becoming a member? They have a new membership program where you can pay for what you play. Whether you play once a week, once a month, or just want an unlimited option.
Wow, sounds like an ace in the hole. Where do I sign up?
Just call me, Kristen the Piston, at 608-241-8788, and I'll get you all teed up.
Cherokee Country Club is the only club in Madison to offer indoor and outdoor tennis, swimming pool, and social individual, family, and junior memberships. Call Kristen today at 608-241-8788. Cherokee Country Club. Pay for what you play.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary?
Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
Back on the Golf Effect Radio Network from Cherokee Country Club in Madison, along with What's a Tiz, Dennis Tiziani. I'm Paul Brown, and it's a pleasure now to bring in Dan Hicks of NBC Sports. He's been with the network since '92. Background includes some radio, play-by-play of Notre Dame football, and coverage of the NBA, the NFL, and Olympic Games. Dan, welcome to the show. It's nice to have you on.
Guys, always a pleasure to be with you. How are you?
We're good. And Mr. Tiziani here was relaying a little bit about you two, exchanged some texts over the years and had a little fun and checked up on Steve, huh?
Yeah, it's been fun through the years that, because we're on the air, we're trying to, do the best we can with what we're seeing, and sometimes things happen on the fly, so to speak. And let's just say Steve Stricker's out there and he's got something going on, and you want to kind of get to the, the expert who knows his swing just as well as Steve does himself, and that would be Dennis. And he's been a real good friend through the years to help us out and give our NBC telecast just a little more of an inside feel when we're talking about Steve in particular.
Who just went by about 10 minutes ago. He's out with his daughter playing, and he went by. He's got shorts on, Dan, and his hat's on backwards, so he's relaxing a little bit.
I hear it's Bobby, right? His daughter.
Yeah,
Bobby. Is the player? I hear she's turning into quite the player.
Really good. She shot 69 yesterday, day before, with a couple of bogeys. So, yeah, she's really good. Different. Maybe she is a little bit like him. She's very reserved. She'll. The other one's totally different. The young girl, she'll tell you how
they're
good
all
she
different,
is.
aren't they? All the golf swings are different. You would know that.
Oh yeah, they are.
Dan, Bobby, also the young. One of the two young gals had 9 birdies in a tournament last summer in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
18 holes.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
I hope we, since we just reacquired the rights to the USGA events, I hope we see her in the U.S. Women's Open someday. That would be fantastic. We also do the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. Yeah. So I love doing the women's events, and we have a couple of majors now. So, maybe we'll see Bobby in there someday. That'd be
she
awesome.
has, Dan, she was offered a internship, I think, with NBC to do some work. She is in the school of...
Has she accepted the internship?
I don't know. She was talking about NBC. She was talking about the Golf Channel, American Family. She's in the school of journalism, and she's really, really, really good. Yeah, she's good at... all the pictures and all that sort of stuff. So
she doesn't want to work in front of the camera.
A fellow journalism major. That's what I was at Arizona. So
you are? She doesn't want to work in front of the camera?
Another journalism major out there.
Yeah.
Dan, she keeps saying, I don't want to work in front of the camera. I'm one of the behind the camera types.
I don't know.
Okay. There's definitely work available in that capacity because, we're the face of what everybody sees, but the people behind the scenes, the producers and all the technicians and everybody that makes the show go are unbelievably talented people. So you never would see what you see on golf and TV every week if it wasn't for the vast majority of the people behind the scenes who are really the reason that it comes off as it comes off.
Dan, I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, the USGA announced recently that it's moving its U.S. Open coverage and media rights to NBC in August. And the new deal with NBC and the Golf Channel gives them the U.S. Open, the British Open, the Players' Championship, the 3 World Golf Championships, the Ryder Cup, the President's Cup, and they'll have the FedEx Cup playoffs on an every other year basis. So, Dan, from the NBC perspective and the relationship of the PGA Tour and the fans, I would think this has got to be a huge and a big deal for NBC Sports again, to get back into more golf coverage.
No doubt about it. It's a huge deal. And honestly, guys, I thought that when Fox took over the rights back in 2015, to cover the USGA events, I really thought that was it. We were never going to have an opportunity to do the U.S. Opens and all the great championships that are a part of their package again. And so, we were able to acquire the rights to the Open Championship, formerly known as the British Open. We all call it the Open Championship these days. But so that was great. So we were back in the major club, and you're just thinking you're just never going to get a chance to do the U.S. Open again and all the other titles that are come with it. But so I was shocked and surprised that we were able to do it. And it's unfortunate that the COVID-19 pandemic was really the thing that propelled the whole conversation between Fox and NBC. And it was really started as a one-off. We were going to do just the U.S. Open at Winged Foot, and that obviously got moved from June to September. So when it got moved to September, Fox had some programming conflicts with it. And so we were initially, the talks were we were going to just do that one. And then they escalated, and it became apparent, and it's out there publicly, that Fox was really not happy with the financial situation of their deal. And, the rest is history, so to speak. And we ended up acquiring not just the U.S. Open at Winged Foot, but for starting next year, another 6 years of USGA championships. So to come down the back nine of your career, like a lot of us, our NBC crew are doing, we've been all working together for 20 plus years for the most part, the key figures in the whole telecast. It's a dream come true, guys. I feel terrible for Fox. I have a lot of good friends over there that were just blindsided by this whole thing. But from our standpoint, we could not be more thrilled to be back televising the USGA championships, because once it gets in your blood, you do it for 20 years like we did. Yeah. It becomes a part of your DNA, so to speak. So we're absolutely incredibly excited to be doing it again.
And Dan, that was where I was going to go with my next question. The COVID-19, it's changed our world. Today, the PGA announced they will have no fans or no pro-ams on their 9 remaining events on the tour, including the 3 FedEx Cup events. From the COVID perspective for broadcasters and broadcasting in general, and you see what's going on, no fans at tournaments and that type of thing, and you have been and will continue to be involved in this. How do you look at this whole COVID thing and how it's affected not only the game, but for broadcasting as well?
Yeah, we just finished our first event since the pause at the Players Championship back in March. It was not a PGA Tour event, but it was the American Century Championship, which is a celebrity golf tournament that's held in Lake Tahoe. This was the 31st year, so it's a great tradition and a very cool tournament. But it was also a chance for us and some of our NBC crew that did it to kind of experience for the first time what it's like in these times to do a golf tournament, to do a television show. And so I just got back from there last night after doing it this past weekend, and it was an eye opener in many ways. We had no spectators there as well, and so it was kind of a good launch for us to see what we're going to be faced with when we do our next PGA Tour event. Well, we actually do a U.S. Amateur in next month in Bandon Dunes, so it was a real trial run for that one as well. And so it's interesting, guys. It's a different world, and it's a different broadcast world out there. It's not the same. There's no spectators. You have to rely on a lot of people. It's more challenging in so many ways technically, that too complicated to get into, but the whole telecast itself is complicated even when you don't have times like we're experiencing. So to now have this where people have to be distanced from themselves in television trucks, which have always been a very confined and tight packed environment, it's a real challenge. And even that goes to our 18th tower or wherever I'm at. I was with Peter Jacobson this last weekend, and we had 5 people in the tower, and we have to be aware of where we are at all times. So it's a challenge. I think it's been great to see golf back, and I think with all of the other sports that are in flux, we don't know what kind of seasons we're going to have. We don't know if there's going to be a baseball, football season. We don't know any of this, but golf is back. And I really, truly believe that it's a responsibility of us. CBS has done a great job so far bringing the sport back. And I hope and pray that golf continues on the on the path that it is. It continues to be played even without fans. It's a great thing for people to be able to watch these guys play.
Dan, as the lead commentator or play-by-play announcer on a tournament like that, with these current conditions, I'm curious to see if you think your role is a little different than it normally would be. Are you expected to do anything, or do you feel that you've got to do anything different because there are no fans and that type of thing?
You know, it's interesting you asked that, because I was curious as to, how, for instance, if I haven't, we did the Tahoe event, which actually in the end there wasn't not a lot of drama when Marty Fish, the former tennis star, won, and so it was a little subdued anyway. But I'm curious to see, and I've seen Jim Nantz and the CBS crew do their thing, and they had a really pretty dramatic conclusion to their event, at Muirfield this week. But it's going to be interesting to see how much energy you throw in there at a time when there's not going to be a real crowd to propel it. You always have to ride and be aware of what the crowd is doing. Ride their swells and lay out and let the crowd react, and then you throw in, your couple of comments to kind of try to enhance the moment and add to the moment. But I think that's a new thing, and I don't know how much energy that I'll have when we have an event that really is a big deal. And let's just say we're at the Tour Championship right at the end of the year. We're going to be there in Atlanta. Let's say Rory McIlroy sinks a 20-foot putt to win the FedEx Cup title and $15 million, and he's the champion. It's going to be different, and it might definitely affect the way I call it. I won't know fully until we get there, but I think that it'll definitely be different, so to speak.
Wait a minute. He'd have to bring Johnny Miller back, maybe.
Well, now that we have the U.S. Open back, he might have to do a cameo, right?
I thought I'd get that in there.
You might have to hear one more time the 63 that he shot at Oakmont in 73, right?
I thought I'd get that in there.
I knew he was going to figure a way, one way or another, to get it in there. Dan, what I used to do when I did play-by-play is I looked at my role as the color analyst was the expert. That was not my job. My job was, in terms of hockey, for an example, to tell you who had the puck and where they were on the ice and that type of thing. But I always prided myself, and I suspect you do some of the similar things, and I'm not comparing myself with you in any way. I prided myself on always doing my homework, doing the research, doing the background on the players and the teams and things like that, to have that media or that information that people might not expect you to have. With social media today, and where the players, in a way, actually might control their own message, has that changed for you at all in terms of your preparation and what you do?
Not really. Yeah, I totally agree with your work ethic. I think that first and foremost, especially for a guy like me who's trying to make people care more about the people that they're watching, whether it's golf, whether it's football, whether it's Olympic swimming, or any of the other sports I do, you have to be prepared to tell the story. And that remains unchanged, even in the current times that we're having. That's still the fundamental fundamental business of what we do. And so that's not going to change, and that's never going to change as long as, television is bringing people's, favorite sports and players into their homes. So it doesn't change at all, and I think it maybe even become more important that at the moment, without crowds to kind of fire up and fuel the atmosphere, that we're going to have to bring these people to life that are playing these sports, even more so.
I'd like both your thoughts on this, Dennis and Dan. We're chatting with Dan Hicks. The Royal and Ancient Executive Director came out talking about, we were talking last week on the show about DeChambeau's 350-yard drive.
Right.
They're saying we better take a look at what's going on. So they're talking about potentially making some changes down the road. He basically said he's able to control the ball with the extra power is extraordinary. All credit to him. He's a true athlete, but I still come back to the belief that golf is a game of skill, and we believe we need to get the balance of the skill and the technology right. Dennis, first of all, your thoughts on whether we may look at changes down the road.
Well, there's no question they're skillful. I mean, but there are two changes that I tell you that are different. And it's the ball and the club. The ball's too hot, okay, but the big item is in the equipment. They've expanded the sweet spot on that club so much that you can hit it anywhere on that club and get a result. If you go back when we had wood clubs and you had the fiber insert, I mean, you had to hit it in the sweet spot for it to go someplace. So that would be a big item for me to see, is that not the equipment and having that great big sweet spot. I don't know if they'll ever change that, but certainly they can do something with the ball. And I've often said that if you'd had a ball that the tour had to use, within 30 days, the public would use the same ball.
How do you see it, Dan, in terms of the way the game and the players have changed over the years?
Yeah, it's amazing what DeChambeau's doing, and all the credit to him. He
Right.
has, he's taken on this process and beefed up and, increased his club head speed. And he told us all that you're going to see a new guy, you're going to see a bigger guy, a stronger guy, and you're going to see a guy that's going to attack a golf course in a different way. And he's taken it to the next level. When we thought that maybe we had seen the next level with all these other guys like Dustin Johnson and Brooks Koepka and Rory McIlroy pounding it, but he has clearly taken it to another level. It's interesting because I don't know quite what the solution is. It sounds easy to say, okay, let's just play one ball. I know Jack Nicklaus has been in that corner for many, many years now. And the more I hear about it, I think if you're going to back off on everything and limit these guys, the ball is the answer. But even then with manufacturers, it's going to be a battle. And when I say that, the ball and the equipment, it's going to be a legal battle. So it's a complicated issue. I think that, let's just see if, DeChambeau, is he going to win every golf tournament every week? No. He's won. He's had a number of top tens in a row, and he's on an incredible roll. But let's see if this guy can sustain it before we say that the sky is truly falling. We've heard these things come and go, the tiger proofing and all of that. And still, a U.S. Open that is going to be played at Winged Foot in September, I believe, is still going to be won on a golf course that I know pretty well since I'm a member there, Winged Foot. I think it's still going to be around par because I think they can set it up that hard.
Yep.
And I don't think DeChambeau is going to want to mess with 6-inch rough when he just tries to bomb and do the bomb and gouge method. I'm anxious to really see DeChambeau's game in the major championships when the courses are really, really hard and there's really some deep rough, which I think we've got to get back to on a regular basis in the U.S. Open and all the majors for that matter. Besides the Open Championship, which is more hard and fast and linksy. But I'm anxious to see his game in those conditions.
Well, that's a good point that he's making, but he hit it in the rough on that last hole there. It was 208 yards to the front of the green and
Hit an 8
iron. Yeah,
I know.
Come on,
I know. It's
Come on.
concerning, and we'll see. He's the guy that's separated himself from everybody else right now. So we'll see what the reaction is from the rest of the guys.
Yeah.
But right now he's kind of a lone wolf as far as averaging 350 yards drive, which we thought we would never see.
But those two guys shot 19 under par in this last tournament.
Yeah.
I don't care, but Murfield's not that easy that you would shoot 19 under par.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
I know.
Wow, that's almost 500
I know.
average.
They keep getting better and better. These
23
athletes,
under.
it's golf.
20 and 23 under. Holy man, that's pretty good.
We're chatting with Dan Hicks. Dan, a couple of questions, and we're going to let you go. We certainly appreciate your time. Probably had you on longer here than we thought we were going to, but
I know it.
And when you look at, you mentioned you might be on your back nine. Hopefully, if you are, you're only on hole number 10, and you got a long time to go.
Right.
There's a long wait on 11 right now. I hope I hope it doesn't move too quickly.
That's right.
It's a long, it's a short before we're waiting for the green to clear.
But as you look at the great career that you had, and do you ever sit and just kind of pinch yourself and think, man, this has really turned out to be a good deal? And part two of that is, if you got a bucket list of one thing in sports you'd love to do yet that you haven't done?
Well, to answer the first part of the question, absolutely. I tell everybody I've never worked a day in my life, and I think that anybody that has a passion for sports, and I'm not the only one in this business who's felt the same way, it's just been an incredible ride. And if you love sports and you love to, talk about the drama and tell the stories and be a part of, an athlete's incredible achievements, it does not get any better. The places I've been able to go, the things that I've been able to see with a best seat in the house, it's just, I pinch myself all the time. But as a kid, it's all I wanted to do. And I just, dreamt about it. And, lo and behold, here we are. But I never take it for granted. I've been lucky to have the career I've had at NBC Sports and stay at the same network for this period of time. And let's be honest, you get niches where golf is obviously one of my niches, and the other Olympic sports and football, to name a couple others. But you've got to make sure that your network and your people that are in charge of getting the broadcast rights to these particular sports are able to secure them. And they've been able to keep the ball rolling, and I haven't had to go knock on any other doors or search around, other places and other opportunities. So I've been lucky to do that. So it's just been an incredible ride, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. Now the second part of the question I've already forgot. What is it?
A bucket list. Would there be something?
Oh, the bucket list. No, you know what? I've done more than I don't really have a bucket list. I don't. I honestly don't. I've done everything that I've wanted to do, and then some. So my bucket list has expanded beyond my bucket list, I guess.
He outpunted his coverage with Hannah anyway. So.
Yeah, and now that we've got 2 of the 4 majors,
he didn't hear me. Did
better
you?
than that.
You didn't hear me, did you?
What did you say? Did you mention? What did you say there?
You outpunted your coverage with Hannah. So.
There's no doubt about that. I will admit that. That's where I've gone above and beyond.
Oh, she's great.
It starts right there. Yep.
She's great. Yep.
As you know, Dan, nothing never changes with Tiz. Nothing is filtered here. You get exactly what he's thinking. So we sincerely,
I'm bummed that there's not going to be a Ryder Cup this year. Is Steve going to hang in there for another year?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's tough stuff. I know how. Much work these guys go through, and I felt for the whole thing, but I think it was the right decision, and I know he probably thought it was as well.
He certainly did, and he's fired up. I was with him this afternoon on that. It gives him another opportunity. He's got so many good young players coming up that are really going to be something. So it gives him another opportunity for those guys to get a little bit better. And he's fired up. He's out here now playing. I don't know. He drove all the way back from where the hell? In Murfield. He drove 7 hours or 8 hours to get home.
Now he's going to turn around and go back.
Yeah, he's going to fly back, I think, Wednesday, because Izzy's playing in a tournament on Tuesday, so he wanted to watch Izzy play. So
we'll all reunite at Whistling Straits.
There you go.
There you go. I'll be there.
There you go. Dan, thanks very much.
See you in a little more than a year.
I know.
We'll probably do a few radio shows before that, right?
Oh, yeah. We'll be doing a few of those. All right.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan, very much.
We appreciate it.
My pleasure, guys. Always great spending time with you. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Stay
All
safe
the best.
and be well.
See you.
We'll be back on the Golf Effect after this timeout.
American Family Insurance is returning $425 million to our customers. This includes a 10% savings for all current and new personal auto customers for the rest of the year. We hope this does your world some good and reminds you that your dreams mean the world to us. Contact your agent or go to amfam.com to learn about more ways to save. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Oak Park Place invites you to join them for a personal virtual tour from your home. You can virtually walk the halls, visit a model apartment, and see the common spaces, all based on your unique needs and interests. Choose the fit that is right for you, from independent to assisted living, memory care, and short-term rehabilitation. They have locations on Madison's east side, in the Nakoma neighborhood, Janesville, Baraboo, Oak Creek, and Wauwatosa. Visit oakparkplace.com.
Play the best-kept secret in Wisconsin golf. Wild Rock Golf Club, Wisconsin Dells. This Herdston and Pride design not only features stunning views from elevated tee boxes, but it also showcases the natural beauty of the surrounding area that will dazzle your senses. Secluded and sheltered from the outside world, Wild Rock is unlike many places you played before. A true test of golf for players of all skill levels. Book your tee time online today and see what you've been missing at wildrockgolf.com. That's wildrockgolf.com.
Hey, Lauren, you ready for things to get back to normal yet?
Yeah, I really am. I really miss hanging out with my friends and family, going out to eat, and sporting events.
You should check out Cherokee Country Club this year. You can enjoy sports at a safe distance with our golf range, indoor-outdoor tennis, swimming, and beautiful 18-hole golf course. Also, our sports lounge is open to the public. Have you tried their Friday night fish fry?
No, I haven't. I think that's something my family and I can really enjoy. I'm going to tell my friends about it. Where can we sign up?
Call me, Kristen, at 608-241-8788.
Cherokee Country Club. Pay for what you play.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
Sculpted by glaciers, played by champions. The University of Wisconsin Golf Course, University Ridge, is open for play and awaiting your arrival. The Robert Trent Jones Jr. design University Ridge is now offering 18-hole walking green fees for as low as $46 plus tax any Monday through Thursday. This 18-hole rate won't last long, so visit universityridge.com or call 608-845-7000 to reserve your tee time. Play where the Badgers and the pros play. University Ridge.
The golf season is in full swing, and so is Nevada Bob's.
30 seconds,
no more
guys.
curbside deliveries or drop-offs. You get the full in-store service from Joel and his staff. New or used clubs, they got them. Putters, balls, shoes, hats, and apparel for men, women, and kids. Nevada Bob's has you covered. Replace those old grips with new ones. Get a new bag or a high-tech pull cart. Top flight service with a smile. It's like Joel says,
Your game, your store, Nevada Bob's, always at the best price.
And we're back on Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network, and we go from NBC Sports, Dan Hicks, to Wisconsin.golf and Gary D'Amato.
Oh.
What a comparison there, huh?
Well, we're moving up now.
How are you, Gary?
I'm pretty good, but there's obviously no comparison. I'm a great fan of Dan Hicks, and it was great you guys had him on. That was good.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
Gary had a quad today, a double bogey and a quad to finish his round.
Oh, my God.
Is that right?
My first quad of the year on the last hole at Edelweiss Chalet. Ruined a good round, but I really like the golf course.
Edelweiss, how could you do that? You could shoot better than that left-handed. Oh, excuse me, Paul. Excuse me, Paul.
I mean, I should try that.
And we're going to chat about a couple of areas tonight. First of all, for Wisconsin.com, Gary rates golf courses in the state of Wisconsin.
Yep.
And why don't you talk a little bit about how you do your rating? Because I understand it may be a little different than some others.
Yeah, first of all, when I rate courses, I like almost every golf course I've ever played in my life. I never walk off a golf course thinking, oh, that was terrible. I mean, I enjoy playing golf and I enjoy playing golf courses. So the other part when I rate courses is I realize and understand that these golf course owners and operators, it's a competitive business. They're trying to make a living. And so I never want to trash a golf course and turn people away from guys who are trying to make a business. So taking those two things into account, I look for the positives on a golf course when I play it. I look for the good things. I think most golfers, the first thing they want to know is how are the greens? If the greens are, smooth and pure and pretty fast, I think golfers are willing to overlook a lot of other maybe shortcomings on a golf course. And then pace of play is a big thing for me. And I'll tell you what, I played Edelweiss Chalet today with a buddy. We played behind a foursome, and we almost never had a wait. We played in 3 hours and 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, is an enjoyable round of golf.
How do you rate? What do you think about rating of golf courses, and how should it be done?
Well, it's the experience, and much like he's saying, I mean, if half of the shots you're going to shoot or more are on the green, you want to make sure those are good. The playing surface from where you play from, the surrounds, the greens and the bunkers are a big item that you want to. And then there's playability. Like I say, on every course, you can find something beautiful there, whether it's trees or whether it's water or a river or someplace and play. I agree with what he's saying, too, because everybody, not that they're struggling, but you can go out on a course. I don't care where you play, and you can find, if you want to nitpick, you can find something that isn't right. And I tend, like he is, to concentrate on the positive deal, how much fun it's been out there. And he's on the right track, greens, surrounds, and then some positive things where he just played a lot of positive things there. I mean, I've played a lot of courses in the state, and there are things that stand out on courses that are positive, and to go to that.
Gary, the way you're rating them, I'm sure people listening or watching on YouTube, I'd be curious. Give us your top 3-4 courses in terms of your ratings. Or is that giving away something you don't want to based on forcing them to go to Wisconsin?
No, he's talking about ratings now.
No, it's a good question. And, there's different levels of golf courses. Obviously, if you pay, $32 to play a golf course, you're not going to have quite the same experience as paying $475 to play Whistling Straits or whatever it is.
Right.
So you have to take those things into account. There's different price points, but I played a course a few weeks ago in Salem, Wisconsin called Spring Valley, designed by Langford and Moreau, the guys who did Lawsonia Links. And it's a bare bones operation, and there's no frills, but the bones of the course are really, really good. And so I look for things like that. I look for hidden gems, out of the way places that people might not have heard of, but they've never played. And I try to accentuate, the reasons why you should maybe go give that golf course a try. So I have fun with it. I'm pretty generous in my reviews, but like Dennis said, if there's something really wrong, I try to point it out in a positive way.
Right.
But most of my reviews are pretty positive, and they get really good traffic on our website, which shows me that golfers are looking for places to play.
Right.
And you also wanted to, who's originally from Wisconsin.
Yeah, Jordan, I got to be, I would say, almost friends with him, covering him for the majority of his years, and when he was growing up in Mequon and then playing at Oklahoma State. Really nice young man, really good kid, good head on his shoulders. Obviously, a ton of game. I mean, that 2013 season when he won just about everything he entered. And then a couple years later, he finished sixth as an amateur in the British Open, low amateur. And, he's struggling on the Korn Ferry Tour. He's missed 9 cuts and 11 starts this year. His best finish is a tie for 58th. And I kind of wonder what's going on with him. I know Dennis has worked with him a little bit, and I was hoping maybe Dennis could maybe share some insights of what's preventing Jordan from taking that next leap here.
Yeah, well, when he moved to Florida, I kind of lost touch there. While he was here, he came over here on a fairly regular basis. In fact, that tournament that you talked about, the British Open, he texted me from over there and sent me 2 videos of some guys that were trying to tell him who. So can I see you on Wednesday? Okay, so he came over here, and he wanted to hit balls right away. And I said, no, let's just sit down a minute and talk about this. So I gave him a little bit of a drill of what to do. And I said, now we're going to make sure that, I'm doing this for you, but I want to make sure we get this straight, that you're going to finish school, right? He says, no, not if I win the Open. Never cracked a smile, nothing. Looked right at me. And of course, the Open was where he went, and he finished 6th over there. Now, I haven't seen him very much, but he definitely, everything you said about him, a nice, bright guy and stuff. And if there was a critique, I wish that he would do more things on his own and not have influences around him that maybe won't let him, be what he wants to do. But he did have a swing flaw that he had that I don't know whether he went back to that or not, but if he continues to do that, he's going to have a problem. But he's got my number, In fact, if you do call him, just tell him I asked. The best way to do it is say I asked about him. And then he'll pick up the phone and we'll spend some time. But I can remember here on number 16, I took one out to play here, and I said, well, here's what you should do here. It's not really a driver hole. I mean, you can't drive it on the green. I mean, just hit a 3-wood out there, kind of let it. So he got on the blue tee. Damn near drove it on the green with a 3-wood. I mean, yeah, he hits the ball really good, and he's the putting thing is something that I didn't spend a lot of time with, but I thought we could have spent more time with. But he's a good player, but he shouldn't. On that tour, he should be just cleaning up,
Well, we'll follow that, Gary, and see what happens, and maybe you can.
Are you going to tell him that? Tell him I asked about him.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll text him as soon as we get off the air.
Yeah,
here.
that's
I'll text
that's
him.
the start that I text about him, and where has he been? Maybe he lost my number, or maybe he broke his finger. Ask him if he broke his finger that he can't dial.
He doesn't know what a tiz is. We'll be back after this timeout on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
Now that's a parking spot.
Introducing the I may have underestimated the size of my car policy with accident forgiveness from American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly. Get a quote. Find an agent. Visit amfam.com.
Optional policy features not included in base policies. Review policy for coverages and exclusions. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
A cherished family visit looks different today at Oak Park Place, but the feelings of love and support haven't changed. The focus is always on resident health and safety. Thank you to the families for finding unique ways during difficult times to connect with loved ones while maintaining physical distance. A wave and a smile from outside, a yard sign, a special message, all to bring joy to the residents. They have locations on Madison's east side in the Nakoma neighborhood, Janesville, Baraboo, Oak Creek, and Wauwatosa. Visit oakparkplace.com.
Hi, this is Dave Gary with the Princeton Clubs. A great round of golf requires the right club at the right time. Here in Wisconsin, the Princeton Club is the right club at the right time. If you want to improve your game, give us a call. For custom golf fitness programs, we work with all types of golfers to increase flexibility, core strength, stamina, and overall fitness.
We're committed to excellence, the Princeton Club.
For more information, go to princetonclub.net.
This is Gary D'Amato with Killarney Golf Media. Check out our coverage of golf in Wisconsin and beyond on wisconsin.golf. We cover people, courses, tournaments, issues, and trends. Anything and everything that impacts golf in our state. And keep listening to The Golf Effect for expert analysis, topical dialogue, and great guests. Between wisconsin.golf and The Golf Effect, we've got you covered.
4.
Wow, you're terrible at golf. Who taught you?
I Googled it.
You need to meet with Tiz.
What's a Tiz?
Dennis Tiziani, Wisconsin Golf Hall of Famer. He has over 50 years of playing and teaching experience with a ridiculous list of championships and champions. Maybe you could be his next protege.
Where can I find him?
At the golf range at Cherokee Country Club.
Well, what if I'm not a member at Cherokee Country Club?
Well, the golf range is open to the public, but have you ever thought about becoming a member? They have a new membership program where you can pay for what you play, whether you play once a week, once a month, or just want an unlimited option.
Wow, sounds like an ace in the hole. Where do I sign up?
Just call me, Kristen the Piston, at 608-241-8788, and I'll get you all teed up.
Cherokee Country Club is the only club in Madison to offer indoor and outdoor tennis, swimming pool, and social individual, family, and junior memberships. Call Kristen today at 608-241-8788. Cherokee Country Club. Pay for what you play.
Why drive
30
an
seconds,
ordinary
guys.
car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European.
Yep, back in
Imagine
20
yourself
seconds.
behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
On Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network, and we're going to start a new feature here and see how it goes. Everybody wants to talk to Tiz, got a question about golf in general or maybe about their game. The telephone number to call is 877-729-1070. 877-729-1070. Your opportunity to chat with the Tiz, as we call him here. We'll see if anybody's going to check in and see what kind of reaction we get, because maybe if we get a few questions, we can add this to our repertoire.
It has to be questions on golf, right?
Yeah, no, if you want to take questions on life or whatever.
No, I'm not going to do that. They don't want to hear that.
877-729-1070 is the telephone number to call. And in the meantime, a couple of things, Tiz. Is there an ideal distance to have your stance in terms of how far apart your feet should be.
Yeah, just so your hips are inside of your insteps, because that's what you're doing. You're rotating the core inside of your feet. If the weight gets on the outside of, so your hips are on the outside of your right foot, there's a tendency to move back and forth. So your gravitational center, which is your belly button, that's your gravitational center, can't move. You can go around, but if you stay inside of your insteps, usually they say shoulders inside, which is like your core, but I use their hips more so than shoulders to make sure.
We have John on hold.
Inside.
And let's go to the phone and chat with John. John, you're on the air. Go ahead with your question for Tiz.
Hey, Tiz.
Yeah.
So what's going on with Strick this year? It seems like he plays pretty well the first couple days of a tournament, and then the weekend doesn't go so well. Is he running out of gas, or what's going on?
I think that has a lot to do with it. I think that he was off for 3 months there, and physically he's now just starting to get back in shape. He depends a lot on his hands and hand action. And when you're not working out, when you're not playing as much as you should. And then there's the other thing that while he was home here during this time, he's playing a lot with his family and doing less.
That's more social golf, right?
More social golf. And he's out there teaching them and doing this and doing that. And I shouldn't say he has no business doing it because those are his daughters and family, but the fact remains it's still about him. But the big deal is, he's got to be careful. If he plays too good, he makes too much money, and
the wheelbarrow's got to get bigger.
The wheelbarrow's got to get bigger. But then answer your question, he just has to get in better shape physically. I think mentally he's good. It's physically he can't perform yet.
877-729-1070 is the number to call.
Hilda is on hold.
I'm sorry?
Hilda is on hold.
Hilda, go ahead with your question for Tiz. Whoop, apparently we lost her. 877-729-1070, the number to call. When you're putting, Tiz, should you pay more attention to distance or direction?
Distance.
Why?
Well, every putt's a straight putt. Only the ground makes it go crooked. So you have to find your break point. And the big deal there is, remember, when the ball goes through the break point, that's when it has to start turning to the hole. When the ground turns the ball to the hole gets as big as a big 8 inches. But when you're not sensitive to that break point, where the ground can turn also, distance is a deal. Straight, it goes back and forward the same, and there's a good rhythm number, and I use this even for the long clubs. 1, 2. 1, 2. 2 is the hit.
Hilda called back.
1, 2. So that rhythm, but distance is the big item because that determines whether the break is going to be in there, and you got to get it so the ground turns the ball.
And Hilda's back. Your question of Tiz. Thank you for joining us.
No problem. I got cut off there. Announcers often talk about players having a game plan. What goes into that plan? How finite is it? And what happens when things don't go according to plan?
When it doesn't go according to plan, they'll have an alternative to do. But it is very definitive, that plan, to the point of what side of the tee you played on, where, looking down the fairway, because they're cutting fairways now half and half. Another half meaning one side is dark green, one side is light green. And you want to make sure that you are on the light green side of the fairway, so your club iron shot is down grain. So I want to make sure that I'm on that half of the fairway. I'm very, very sensitive to wind and where it's effective. And the big item is the type of grass that they're playing from. Sometimes the fairways aren't as firm as they should be, or because of the wetness, the ball moves up the club face further. So the plan that they're talking about is they're going to be playing every hole the same distance. And you'll notice that many times players will not use their driver, will get to a distance that they feel comfortable with. Now, if they're really good at 148, for instance, which for most guys, it'll probably be a 9-iron, some will be a pitching wedge, but a 9, they'll hit it to get 148. They will not hit it so far that it varies, and they'll do that on every hole for the whole tournament. On every hole that they play in the whole tournament. So it's very finite. When they look at the green, They're going to make sure that they hit the ball on the side of the green that they can putt down green, because down green putts are straight putts. So when I leave my ball, I want to be on the down green side. I don't want to be putting cross green or into the green. But they can do that. You know, some people are just happy to hit the green, and let alone they're worried about the green.
One more caller, Steve.
Steve is on the air. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead with your question for Tiz.
All right. There was a lot of discussion earlier about how far they're hitting the ball nowadays and all this stuff. And I think you said that, what's the name? DeChambeau hit an 8-iron. What was it, 210 or 20 or something
208
like that
to the front, yeah.
Okay. My question to you is, in your day, heyday, whatever, to give some perspective, what kind of yardages did you hit your irons?
Well, 5-iron was 175, 4-iron was 185, 6-iron was 165, 150 to 155 was a 7-iron, 140 to 150, depending on how I want to jump on, is an 8-iron. Pitch and wedge is 100, 130 for a 9-iron. Now, I just told you that guy hit it 208 with an 8-iron. And I'm listening to some of these things. Now, keep in mind, the ball was a balata ball when I played, different than the hard ball that's played now. All these irons are at least 2 degrees stronger built today than when I played. In other words, a 7-iron then is probably a 6-iron loft now. So they've jacked it up. They being technology has jacked it up a little bit where, somebody thinks they're hitting it further than they should.
Hey, we're getting calls. That's a good sign. We'll be back to close it out after this time out on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
American Family Insurance is returning $425 million to our customers. This includes a 10% savings for all current and new personal auto customers for the rest of the year. We hope this does your world some good and reminds you that your dreams mean the world to us. Contact your agent or go to amfam.com to learn about more ways to save. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Sculpted by glaciers, played by champions. The University of Wisconsin Golf Course, University Ridge, is open for play and awaiting your arrival. The Robert Trent Jones Jr. design, University Ridge, is now offering 18-hole walking green fees for as low as $46 plus tax any Monday through Thursday. This 18-hole rate won't last long, so visit universityridge.com or call 608-845-7000 to reserve your tee time. Play where the Badgers and the pros play. University Ridge.
Hey, Lauren, you ready for things to get back to normal yet?
Yeah, I really am. I really miss hanging out with my friends and family, going out to eat, and sporting events.
You should check out Cherokee Country Club this year. You can enjoy sports at a safe distance with our golf range, indoor-outdoor tennis, swimming, and beautiful 18-hole golf course. Also, our sports lounge is open to the public. Have you tried their Friday night fish fry?
No, I haven't. I think that's something my family and I can really enjoy. I'm going to tell my friends about it. Where can we sign up?
Call me, Kristen, at 608-241-8788.
Cherokee Country Club. Pay for what you play.
A cherished family visit looks different today at Oak Park Place, but the feelings of love and support haven't changed. The focus is always on resident health and safety. Thank you to the families for finding unique ways during difficult times to connect with loved ones while maintaining physical distance. A wave and a smile from outside, a yard sign with a special message, all to bring joy to the residents. They have locations on Madison's east side in the Nakoma neighborhood, Janesville, Baraboo, Oak Creek, and Wauwatosa. Visit oakparkplace.com.
Play the best kept secret in Wisconsin golf. Wild Rock Golf Club in Wisconsin Dells.
You guys are going to have 40 seconds to end the show, okay?
Beauty of the surrounding area that will dazzle your senses. Secluded and sheltered from the outside world, Wild Rock is unlike many places you played before. A true test of golf for players of all skill levels. Book your tee time online today and see what you've been missing at wildrockgolf.com. That's wildrockgolf.com.
Hello, this is Paul Brown. On behalf of Dennis Tiziani and myself, we would like to thank American Family Insurance Company and the Stricker Foundation for allowing us to help them raise money for the Birdies for Health campaign during the last 2 American Family Insurance Championship tournaments. Because of their backing and our efforts of promoting the Birdies for Health campaign, we were able to raise more than $120,000 for Alzheimer's research at UW Hospital. Obviously, that successful effort would never have happened without the very generous support of people in the Badger State and around the country. Not only are we very grateful for the support, but You should know that 100% of the money raised for research went to the Alzheimer's and Dementia Research Center at UW Hospital. Even though the American Family Insurance Championship won't be held this summer, we will look forward to next year's tournament, where we, along with your help, will continue the fight to find a cure for Alzheimer's disease. And we're back on Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network. We're literally out of time here.
Where'd it go?
It was fun tonight.
Yeah, it
Tiz.
really was. Really
And
was.
again, just this quick reminder to everybody that listens and watches the show, the golf passes for UW Ridge and Wild Rock are gone. Thank you, because that money comes to the Golf Effect charity, and we'll use it for donations that Tiz picks out. For Kevin Ryan, Dave McCann, along with Tiz, Paul Brown, thank you for joining us for another edition of Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
This is Fox
All right.
Sports
Thanks, John.
1070, The Game.
Have a good night,
WTSO
guys.
Madison. Available anywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Now #1 for podcasting.